You're listening to Wild About Arizona, the official podcast of the Arizona Game and Fish Department.
Welcome to Wild About Arizona. I'm John Trewiler with the Arizona Game and Fish Department. Our topic today is social media at the Arizona Game and Fish Department. There's a lot going on. If you follow us, you know. If you don't, now's the perfect time to get involved. Amy Gleich is here with us, manages all our social media at Arizona Game and Fish. Amy, glad to see you.
Thank you, John. Excellent to be here. Excited to talk to you about our social.
Absolutely. I mean, from Instagram to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, even new social media platforms down the road, we've got a lot going on. So we really wanted to talk today because this is so cool. This is how we really engage with people in Arizona, people, frankly, around the world, and
True.
We show them what's going on at Game and Fish. We show them what we're doing out there in the field. So tell us a little about your role first here at Arizona Game and Fish. You are the voice behind our Twitter and our Facebook and our Instagram and everything.
True. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we do share a little bit, but most times if you're seeing something on our social, I've probably been the one to write it up and put it out there. So that's what I do. I plan our content. I create some of our content. I kind of help organize all the content that comes in from across our various departments, and I also manage the community basically, so I'm answering direct messages and comments and questions and stuff like that, and it's probably more than a full-time job, but it's great. It's amazing to see so many people love our content and love Arizona and its wildlife, so it's a perfect place for them to really connect with us.
And it's not just us posting photos and hoping for likes or clicks. This is a great way that we are able to engage with people in Arizona. So let's talk about some of the different platforms that we have, because some folks may follow us on all of them, some maybe just a few, but there's several social media platforms, and each of them kind of offer their own unique experience at Arizona Game and Fish, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And I've been trying to kind of separate them out even more. We're kind of thinking of Twitter as where you go to get all your game and fish news. Instagram is going to be, some of the pretty photos, the cool videos. Our stories are going to be a little more fun, more casual, maybe even a little sillier. Facebook is kind of our catch-all. It was the first account that we had as the department. It's our largest account. It's got the most following. So we kind of try and get all of our info on there because that's where most people think to go first, who have been like our longtime followers. So that's kind of where you can get everything. But and then our YouTube has an incredible collection of all the amazing videos that our AV team has created over the years. I mean, it's just like a wealth of wildlife and behind the scenes with our biologists and just all kinds. You could spend days looking through all of our videos on YouTube.
Yeah, some of the videos are pretty spectacular, and you can learn a lot too, just about some of the things that we do, and you'd be like, I never knew Game and Fish did that.
See, that's interesting. Absolutely. Because, before I started working here, I've been working here about 2.5 years. And honestly, if you ask me what Game and Fish did, and I think it's an answer a lot of people have, is, hunting and fishing, right? We sell licenses, that kind of stuff. But there's just so much more. I mean, we're out there taking care of every native species of wildlife in the state, and I like that you mentioned on our YouTube also that you can learn things. We have a lot of cool tutorials, from baiting a hook to cooking to cleaning an animal you've harvested. I mean, there's fishing, kayaking. I mean, we've got all kinds of different stuff that you can learn on there, not just like interesting videos to watch too.
Yeah, well, we talked about it on the Desert Tortoise podcast, that there's a video there on how to build a burrow.
Right.
It literally walks you through what you need to do. And even there's some videos in, different parts of the state. Maybe you never have a chance to get up to Pine Top or get up to, different areas, and we show you what's going on there.
Right, and different places out of the way that like you and I probably wouldn't, even if you're out hiking on a trail, you're not going to get to the same spots that our biologists are getting out to and off-roading and, so some places that even if you are an active outdoors person, you're probably not going to see these places. So
we could just do a whole episode on YouTube, I guess, apparently. Yeah. But there's a lot more. So as we talked about it, this is really social media here at Arizona Game and Fish. It's a really neat way for us to engage with the public, with our constituents, but it's a great way for them to also engage with us. And there's a lot of that happening. I mean, you just mentioned a little bit. People, do ask us questions about certain things, and we ask them to participate, in different things that we do on social media, right?
Absolutely. We get so much incredible content from all of our followers. I mean, not all of it, but, so many times. That would be a lot of content if they all send stuff. But no, so many people send us cool pictures of themselves, the fish they caught or the bobcat they saw on their porch or, this. I think a few of some of our best videos have been from out in the wild that people have shared with us. And I think that also it's a way for them to ask questions. If they're, what animal made these tracks?
Right.
What is this bird I saw on my fence? It's just like a really amazing resource for them to be able to directly contact us and find out more about what they're curious about in Arizona's wildlife,
And now's probably a good time to mention it. If you're not following on any of these platforms, now might be a good time, if you're just listening, to check out Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, all from the Arizona Game and Fish Department, and give it a follow or take it a look, because some of what we talk about today will mention some of these various photos or posts, so you may get a chance to see it and understand better what we're talking about. I know you kind of mentioned it with fish. One of the great ways that we really get involved with our anglers here in Arizona is this Facebook page or group that we created this year called Fish AZ.
Right.
And it's a really cool place dedicated just to anglers in Arizona and people who want to learn about fishing or know more about fishing or who are already really involved in it. It's a place they can go and really just connect with one another, but also connect with us.
It's been amazing. It's really taken off. And I like what you said. That's exactly right, is that it's built such a community. And, yeah, we get in there, we interact. We have a lot of our fisheries guys get in there and talk about what's going on and, fish stockings and where hot spots are right now to go fish across the state and stuff like that. But really, the people talk to each other there. And that's been really our goal, and it really has been working out. Like somebody will be new to fishing, and they'll say, hey, guys, I'm going up to Pine Top. Where should I go? What's the best place? What bait should I bring or whatever, And really the community jumps in and answers. And it's been such an amazing thing to see, and it's grown so quickly, and it's really been awesome that we could kind of facilitate that and have that spot for all the Arizona anglers to come to.
And it's just cool to see the photos.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my favorite part. You see from little kids catching their first fish to, experienced anglers showing off, a big catfish or a trout that they've caught. I mean, that's a cool part to see all the photos.
I'd say right there, it's worth it if you want to see some awesome fishing photos. I mean, it's just, a wealth of them.
Another way that I know we get people involved on social media, we have our hashtag can spotting going on. This is cool. But if you don't know, we at Arizona Game and Fish Department, we have our own beer with our partners at Mother Road Brewing in Flagstaff. It's the Conserve and Protect Golden Ale.
Golden Ale. It's the new one. Yes, we did the Kolsch before.
Yep.
But now we're doing the Golden Ale, yes.
And this is pretty exciting. It's a new can design,
Beautiful. Yeah, the pronghorn on there, absolutely.
Sales of the beer go to support wildlife in Arizona, which is really cool. And, people can use that hashtag. If they see the cans out and about throughout Arizona, whether they're in Flagstaff at the brewery or maybe they're in Phoenix at a grocery store, wherever they are, take a picture, share it with us.
Right, exactly. And we're actually going to have a story up later on today. We've been seeing a few come in to the hashtag can spotting, so I'm going to share those. So if you want to check it out, you can see. And then anytime you're at one of our Sprouts, should have it by now. Total Wine and More, some Fries have it, some different places across the state. It's pretty well widespread throughout the state. And we love to see, sometimes people take it on a hike with them and, take a cool photo in a neat spot, or even just, like you said, at the grocery store, grab a photo. Even if you don't, of course you should buy it, but even if you don't and you just happen to see it, we'd love to see it and know that, where you're finding it. So it's kind of fun. People get pretty creative with it.
You're supporting Arizona wildlife, and on top of it, you get a cold beer. You can't beat that.
Right? Yeah. I got to tell you, I haven't tried it yet, but I really like the Kolsch, and I hear it's, even better. So
we should have brought some. I was just going to say.
That was a swing and a miss on that one.
We should have brought some today. We could have tried it for the first time. That would have been nice.
Oh, my God.
Because I've had the Kolsch, but I haven't had this new one either.
Right? Well, we'll have to do another happy half hour live on Facebook. we're going to talk about some of our
Well,
lives.
yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to do another one where maybe we debut.
Where Amy and John
tasting.
try the beer for the first time. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because not only is it, we've talked about Can Spotting on Twitter and other things and Fish AZ, but we do several live events on our platforms. And one of them is, we go live on Facebook, and we've done the Happy Half Hour before. We do different events, like Earth Day and different educational opportunities for people. I mean, you've been live on our page, and we've had some of our other biologists live before. Many different folks throughout the agency go live and really just kind of showcase what's going on, whether it's a happy half hour or whether it's we're learning about Earth Day and some of the species today. That's a really cool thing.
I really like lives, and I have a plan for us to do even more of them in the future, especially because now a lot of our events are canceled.
Yep.
It used to be like we'd go live from the expo, and that was cool when everybody got to see what they could come out and check out, but now we're kind of really relying on our social media to replace a lot of the in-person events that we can't do until we're all back to normal. And so I think lives are a great way to have that instant interactivity too with people. You ask a question, we see it, we can talk right back to you, so it's fun. It feels like you're hanging out with us.
Well, and I know some of our education folks, they're not able to be out in the classrooms, right now, and they're not able to be out engaging with the public in person as they normally would. So, but they're still able to share these cool stories and cool, information about all our, native wildlife on this Facebook Live opportunity.
Exactly. And still be somewhat face-to-face, and still show what you're talking about. And I think that, Eric, our wildlife education coordinator, he's had huge success with his webinars, teaching teachers, giving them good resources so that they can kind of spice up their virtual learning too. That's a tough transition. So I think our education department's done a great job of trying to support them and give them resources in this totally different way of learning and engaging with students.
So over the past year, we've really, as we've talked about, we're always posting new content, great photos, but even if we just tighten it up and look at the scope through just this year in 2020, we've posted some really amazing photos we had a bald eagle and a saguaro cactus, which basically went viral.
Yes.
They picked it up, and we had a London newspaper pick it up. But it was all over the place. We've had, I think recently one of my favorites was the bobcats that were hopping on the water drinker that we were able to capture. Just talk to us about some of that content, because there's so many cool posts that we have, and a lot of them are on all our platforms, but a good amount of them are on the Instagram specifically. And there's just really neat posts, and it's a great opportunity for you to see something in Arizona that you maybe never would get the opportunity to see.
Exactly. I think one of the best examples of that is the eagle's nest in the saguaro, because our raptor biologist Tuck, for like over a decade, has kind of surmised that one of these really big old saguaros could hold an eagle's nest, but has never seen it in person, and that's through him being out in the field constantly year after year and doing aerial surveys and all this. And then finally, on one of those aerial surveys, they see this enormous eagle's nest in this huge saguaro. And if he being out in the field that much over all these years, just finally
decades.
saw it. Right, exactly. Like you and I going out and, just like on a trail somewhere, we're not ever going to see that probably, And so for him to finally see that and for us to be able to share it with everybody on social is just, words, sure, you can describe it, but seeing that photo is just, it's stunning.
It's such a cool photo because it's, the saguaro cactus, kind of this iconic image of Arizona. And then you've got the bald eagle, this, iconic symbol of the United States, just come together. And it's just such a cool thing to see.
Absolutely. And honestly, I would have never thought of it. I wouldn't have thought that an eagle was building a nest in a saguaro, So,
but this was something they've been looking for decades.
Right. So that's not something that you're probably going to necessarily be able to go out and find yourself,
Right.
So that's why it's so cool to be able to see that stuff from our guys out in the field on our social.
And on top of that, too, there's a lot of behind-the-scenes aspect about this, too. We get to really focus and showcase some of our biologists, our wildlife managers that do amazing on-the-ground conservation work every single day but, they're not always in the spotlight. So in
Right.
some cases, there's a great opportunity for us to really showcase just a picture or a quick video about whether they're, transporting an animal from Tucson to Phoenix or anything they're doing. There's a lot of those stories.
Right, hanging out of a helicopter, chasing down, a group of pronghorn to net them and then tag them and then release them. I mean, it's just like this is stuff that's normal for them. But for us, it's like, oh my God, this is crazy. You're in this helicopter, like flying down by
Hanging out the side of it.
Right, yeah, exactly. And so I think a lot of times what's one of the challenges and the awesome opportunities is this is day-to-day stuff for them. So we kind of have to remind them and encourage them to share this stuff with us because it might be day-to-day for you, but for us, it's like, whoa, my God, I can't believe that this is happening, and it's really pretty much anything they do throughout the day is always cool stuff. That makes me think of the deer caught in the fencing.
Yes.
And I'm trying to remember where it was. Honestly, I can't. It was up north. It was northern
Was
Arizona.
that Flagstaff?
It might have been the flag. Yes, I think it was like Flagstaff area. And, that they were able to go and release this deer from the fencing, and she was able to go off with her 2 fawns. And, that's probably just like a normal call for them. But for all of us, it's such an amazing story, and it's such a nice, happy ending that, without our wildlife managers, probably would have gone a different way, So
Yeah.
it's amazing to see the good work they're out there doing.
Well, and it's not just, you taking the photos or them taking the photos or supporting this content. Again, another way that we really engage with our audience and the folks in Arizona is a lot of times they'll submit photos to us of something cool they've seen. Or I know we just wrapped up this year our wildlife photo contest.
Yes.
Where we really encourage people to go out there. And of course, we've talked about wildlife watching on this podcast before, and
Right.
we know that there's a lot of people out there just love Arizona wildlife, love to watch it, and they're taking some incredible photos of this wildlife.
Incredible. I mean, we get thousands of photos for the wildlife calendar contest, which the calendar on sale now.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's, I mean, I've thought of in the past entering, and it's like I'm nowhere near. I mean, these are like really top-notch professional quality photos these people are submitting. And even through our social media, we get tagged constantly on Instagram with pictures that are just, they're stunning. And we could barely share them all. We get so many sometimes. And it's incredible to see people are really going out there and just as a hobby, they just love it. They love to go find the wildlife, and they love to learn about the wildlife, and they love to share these photos with us. So it's amazing.
And some of them are already up on our Instagram. I know the winner of this year,
Yes.
the Cactus Ran, the State Board of Arizona.
Right.
That one's, and that'll be the cover of the 2021 wildlife calendar. But then there's 11 more images that are featured throughout the calendar
Right.
with the various months. And that's just really cool. And of course, so you mentioned, I think the best way to get a calendar, if you are interested, is to subscribe to our magazine,
Yes.
Wildlife Views magazine. And then if you do that before, I think, the end of 2020, that you get a
You get the
copy
calendar,
of the calendar.
also. Right. And
So-
even if you're listening to this later and subscribe, there's every month amazing, every issue
Right.
is amazing content. And then you'll get next year's calendar, which will also be amazing. But yeah, this one's
We're not
cool.
discontinuing the calendar, don't
No,
worry.
never. But no, this one's really cool, and they do a really good job of trying to represent all the different types of wildlife, So you're going to see bats, you're going to see birds, you're going to see, I don't know, mammals, obviously, of different kinds. I haven't seen all the photos. It's exciting. I got to get my copy, too.
I've seen a handful of. The only one we didn't get, I think they didn't get a. Maybe it was submitted, but there's no fish. Like a photo of a fish didn't make the calendar.
Okay.
Maybe for next year.
Maybe next, or we'll just put it on social.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
If you don't see it in the calendar, you might see it on Instagram.
We'll have all the people who didn't win. We'll ask them to let us put it on social media.
Well, I think, but you mentioned that because this was a record this year. We
Yeah.
had, I think, nearly 1,500 entries, and of course, we're only picking 12 out
Right,
of that.
plus
It's a
few
hard
runners-up.
job
Yeah, I know. They never let me in on those meetings, but
because you'd take every photo for.
yeah. We're gonna do a daily calendar, and it's $360.
Maybe we need to at this point.
Well, and we probably have enough amazing photos for it. But yeah, and I actually, even a few of the photographers who regularly tag us and things, I let them know, hey, the contest is up, because they're getting these amazing photos anyway. So I wanted them to have a chance at it. So it'll be interesting to see if any of theirs won too.
So we kind of talked about this earlier, but again, if people are now hearing, okay, wow, the Instagram sounds really cool, the Twitter sounds really neat, I got to check out YouTube. Just break this down for us, for anyone listening. What's the best way that they can follow all or any of these platforms? It's super simple and easy to do. It's just basic social media.
Basic social media, it's at AZGFD for Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. On YouTube, just search Arizona Game and Fish will come up. And then we also have LinkedIn, but that's kind of more professional, but if you want to, we're not super active on it, but you can always connect with us on there too. But I would say that if you're on any platform already, find us. If you want to sign up, that's pretty simple. And then you can start following us. We can be your first friend.
Yeah. Well, and there's always something new happening on social media platforms. We just discovered recently on Twitter, and maybe if you're listening, you didn't even know about this yet.
True.
It's Fleets on Twitter, and we're now doing Fleets.
We're on Fleet. Yeah.
It just sounds funny to say.
I know, it's kind of silly. We're Tweets and Fleets. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, I put one out just kind of for fun when I saw that this was a thing. But we do love Instagram stories. We use that a lot. And usually both to Facebook and Instagram stories. So I don't know. Maybe Fleets will take off with us. We'll put flying flock on Fleets.
To think of something. What's the best part of your job, Amy?
The best part of my job is I really, since the beginning of working here, I've tried to get out in the fields, get to these different events, and really learn what everybody in this agency, or as many as I can so far, what they do. And it's been pretty incredible personal growth, really, also, because I'm going places I've never been. I'm learning and doing things I've never done before. I am a native Arizonan, but I feel like my appreciation for the state has just grown immensely since I started working for Game and Fish. I mean, I've seen wildlife I didn't even know we had here, to be honest. There's a lot of wildlife that... This is going to sound dumb, but John, I didn't know we had eagles, okay?
It's okay.
Okay, right? But now we do, and we even have the eagle cam that you can see anytime. Ocelots. I didn't know we had ocelots running around out there,
Well, I didn't know we had 28 species of bats. I think it's 28, but...
Right, and I think it is. I think that's right. But
I don't want to get yelled at by a biologist.
Or a bat.
Right.
But it really has helped me appreciate, like you're saying, it's funny, bats, even just that simple knowledge that the canyon bats, or the little bats that come out, the first ones you see in the evening at sunsets. Like, that's just, now in the evening when I see them flying around, it's like, oh, there's a canyon bat. Like, it just really, really enriched my outdoor experience. And I've gone hunting for the first time since I worked here. I've gone clay target shooting for the first time since I've worked here. Kayaking for the first time since I've worked here. I've been to bat nettings, been to bighorn sheep photography tours. I've been out in the desert in the middle of the night looking for frogs and snakes. And, it's really, I think understanding the wildlife has not only made me appreciate it, but it's made me less fearful. You still got to be respectful. But I used to kind of feel like if I was hiking, like a rattlesnake is actively looking for me, which is ridiculous.
Right.
But that was kind of the feeling I got. Now I get that if you respect stuff and you give it its space, you're free to feel comfortable and go enjoy the outdoors right along with it and appreciate it, And so that's been an amazing lesson for me since I've been here. So it's all good. And, of course, great people.
And now
like
you've gotten to be on... Well, thank you. And it's your first time on Wild About Arizona.
Another first.
So many firsts.
Check it off. Yeah.
Well, and everything you just said is just so much about, again, one of the main reasons that our social media is so key, because there's so many people that, you can spend your, you can live in a certain part of Arizona for your whole life or a real long time and never get to experience other parts of the state. There's people that, we know live in other parts of the country. My parents live in Chicago, and they love seeing our, social media and all the great things that happen in Arizona. So, it doesn't matter where you are, you still get a chance to see all the cool things that we do at Arizona Game and Fish.
We're a pretty unique, amazing, diverse state, and I really think that that's something we try and capture and show. So, absolutely.
Amy, thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate it. Again, it's super easy to follow. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We're all there, and don't miss out on any of our great content.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for having me, John. It was fun.
Thanks for listening. Visit us online at www.azgfd.gov.